We're going to break one of these linear actuator and actually see what's inside. So we're drilling out the screw head. Oh,
Do not try this at home.
yeah, let's go. Oh, we got it. So we're unscrewing the top part of the linear actuator. It's really, really small. So if you turn this joint, you can actually see the motors moving.
Hello guys.
Hello guys.
Hi.
Have you guys seen the viral 1x hand video?
Have you?
Yeah, I did. It's really a masterpiece, isn't it? So 1x, or we call that kind of actuation system a tendon drive. I think there's mainly two categories. So one is tendon drive, like 1x. So they pull and push the finger with the cable. And other side, there is a direct drive, which means that you just put the motor right in the joint and you rotate the joint with a motor and a gear.
What about the linkage?
Between those two, they transfer the power through linkages. So today we're gonna show all different kinds of robotic hand and compare what kind of actuation system have upside and downside. So this is a lip hand. It's really a elementary direct drive hand using robotics actuator. So if you actually see the index finger, it has 4 DF per finger. So it's MCP pitch, MCP roll, PIP, and DIP. So it's not that bad in terms of DOF. It's just really big.
Yeah.
It's not to human scale. It is not for dexterous manipulation.
But you can do rock, scissors, paper with them.
Honestly, like compared to 1x10, it's a little bit even too much to say is a robotic hand. I think it's just a motor.
Whoa, okay.
But yeah, they're OG. They made robot hands really long ago. So this really just simplest type of direct drive hand. Next up, we have ORCA hand, ORCA in one. So you can directly see there's tendon strings. So this string pull and push this joint.
And this is open source, right?
Yeah, so, and this is from ETH, and I believe they have ORCA 2 available now.
Yeah.
But this is one. So we built this like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's really well made, considering it's an open source.
And 3D printed parts.
Yeah.
I guess it's most accessible to like engineers or who doesn't have too much of
Budget?
budget friendly.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make your own robot hand, I think this is way to go.
And so for tendon hand, you always have this kind of forearm designed to
Just like our human hands.
accommodate the motors. So if you buy tendon hands, it usually comes like this, forearm and the hand. So usually the forearm consists of motors, and they have cables going through the wrist and the fingers. So if you actually move this index finger MCP joint, you can see this motor moving. So you can tell this motor is controlling the index finger MCP swing joint. So actually this kind of tendon system actually mimics the human body really well, because our hand is somewhat kind of tendon system.
And what 1X did too, right?
Yeah, right.
In way much better way.
So tendon system usually is more powerful because they can use bigger motor and just put it in the forearm.
Yeah.
So just better power and better hip management. But we have some tendon hands we are running right now, but tendon hands tends to break a lot.
Oh yeah. I just remember it's really hard to like repair, right?
Because the cabling is really complicated and the actuation system is not that simple. So that was tendon hand, ORCA. So and next up, we are going to look at some Chinese hand.
Ooh.
We have all broken linkable L20. So this one, we actually broke it down to like see what's inside and what makes this finger move, and all those actuator and joints and stuff. There's 3 actuator per finger. So it's 3 DOF, and actually all the finger is in the palm. So this kind of design is from the ILDA hand. So they use a really clever way to put all this linear actuator to pump, but still actuating the PIP, DIP joint. They are using two linear actuator and universal joint here and ball joint here to do the MCP pitch and MCP swing. And for the coupled PIP and DIP, they're using one actuator at the back.
So they're linked to
So this is the linkage design, and they transmit power through this linkage and
push and pull.
Push and pull. It's actually not this movement, but you can think about it. So this actuator move linearly,
and it pushes it.
Push the linkage and
pulls it.
Right. PIP and DIP.
It pulls it, opens it.
Yeah, right. For you guys, we're going to break one of this linear actuator and actually see what's inside. In here, you can actually see really cool, really tiny planetary gear and screw and motor and that kind of stuff. So this is exclusive on Real World YouTube channel. You can see only here. So let's dive in. So actually the hex bolt head is all worn out. So we're gonna drill it out.
Probably
WD-40 magic
Our
fluid.
friend,
Yeah. So we're drilling out the screw head. Oh, yeah, I think that's it.
yeah.
Did it pop out?
No.
I think we heard something.
Do not try this at home. This is dangerous.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we got them out.
just pry it open. So we're gonna break it down and see what's inside. I think it's much more smooth than last time when we did the press. Yeah. So we're unscrewing the top part of the linear actuator. So at the cap we have bushing. I think it's plastic
Yeah.
and a O-ring inside
Yeah.
to contain the oil and to give a little support.
Wait, how do we see it inside?
We have to
Break it?
let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck, Ponyar.
The screw doesn't scratch and the aluminum casing. Do you see any progress?
No.
No?
Let's go.
Let's wank it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
We did it really clean shot. In here, we have a planetary gear. It's really, really small.
Yeah.
So if you look inside, there's stage 1, and this one is stage 2 planetary gear.
2.3
Outer diameter is 2.3.
millimeter.
You need a magnifying glass
Yeah.
to like see the gear here. So this is the planet gear, and this is the sun gear. Sun gear is 3. Yeah, 3.
So like 2.3 to 3.
And in here, the ring gear is just engraved into the plastic casing here. So after the 2-stage planetary gear, you can see here's the screw. I think it's just normal screw. Yeah, 2.3 diameter, just screw. It's not a ball screw or something. I think it's just screw shaped something. And there's one ball bearing here.
But you can see all the ball bearings inside the ring.
And this the carrier of the planetary gear.
Yeah.
This
Look
one.
how tiny it is.
And to the side, I think this is the linear potentiometer
Yeah.
for the position control. And on the bottom, so all this part is a motor, DC motor, I presume, and maybe encoder at the back. And to the side, we have a driver IC. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it for the L20 linear actuator.
It's like how remarkable their manufacturing skills are, the Chinese manufacturers. Yeah, it's crazy. So as you can see, this hand has a lot of small, tiny parts that's really hard to manufacture. The reason why is to make it such a small hand, robot hand, to do delicate things like dexterous stuff.
Even though we use this kind of small gears and mechanism, L20 is still bigger than our hand. So what you can see from here is that dexterous hand and like direct drive hand that packs all the motors and the sensor to the wrist and above is a really hard problem to solve.
It's such a challenging task.
Yeah, and controlling them is also a big problem.
Yeah, it's probably even harder than making these small parts.
Yeah, so we are like disassembling this kind of hand to get a grasp of how robotic hands work. And we are trying to implement this kind of knowledge into our model development and how we can use our robot hand better with our model. So that was our robot hand introduction and disassembly. Like even knowing that this kind of gear existed and this kind of miniature planetary gear existed, knowing that is really fun. I was really fascinating to find this out.
Yeah. So if you have any other hands that you want to see or try or test, let us know. Bye bye.
Bye bye.